Good morning, everyone. So, last class we started the platelets and hemostasis, right? Blood coagulation. So, clot retraction, I already told. Okay, so the next one is anticoagulants. So, coming to anticoagulants, anti means against coagulants. So, it is preventing the coagulation. Okay. So, anticoagulants are substances that prevent clotting of blood. They also have an important role to play in maintaining the fluidity of blood in circulation. So, that means these substances prevent the clotting of blood and also keep the blood in fluid state. Okay, so in a circulation in our body, when the blood is circulated, so the clotting will not takes place because the presence of this anticoagulants in the blood. Okay, so it will maintain the fluidity. This can be classified into in vivo and in vitro anticoagulants. So in vivo means these are prevent the coagulation of blood inside the body. Okay, in vivo anticoagulants are used to prevent coagulation of blood inside the body. Okay, for example, heparin and dicumarol. Okay, so in vivo means inside. Okay, so these anticoagulants are present inside the body, means it prevent the coagulation of blood inside the body. Okay, so example heparin and dicumarol. The second one is in vitro anticoagulants. So these are used to prevent coagulation of blood outside the body. Okay, so these prevent the coagulation of blood outside the body. Okay, so that means, so in the blood bank, so they will keep the blood, they preserve the blood, right? So in that time they put the anticoagulants. Okay, so it prevent the coagulation outside. Example are heparin, inorganic salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium are the substances or anticoagulants are used in blood to store the blood. Okay, or in lab when they are collecting the blood, okay, when they are taking the sample of blood for any test, so that time they will put in that vial, so the anticoagulants will be there. Okay, so that is called outside. Okay, prevent the coagulation outside the body. So first we will see the heparin. So it is very important anticoagulants. Okay, so which is present inside the body and prevent coagulation inside. So mainly these heparin are produced from, mainly these are produced by the mast cells. So mast cells are present in the body. Okay, and basophils. Basophils, you know. So this is the one type of WBC cells. So coming to the mechanism of action, how it is prevent the coagulation. It has antithrombin action. Antithrombin. So thrombin is very important, right? So conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Thrombin convert the fibrinogen to fibrin. That is the steps in coagulation, right? So it acts as a anti-thrombin action, and it neutralizes the action of thrombin and prevent conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay, so this heparin go and bind to the so this heparin is go and act against thrombin and prevent the thrombin action. So thrombin convert to fibrinogen and fibrin. So this process will not takes place, fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay. The second one, it has anti-thromboplastin action. So that is extrinsic mechanism, right? So in the extrinsic method, tissue thromboplastin, so it will acts antagonist the action of thromboplastin and prevent the conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Okay, so it in the extrinsic mechanism, there is a tissue thromboplastin, so you know, so that will be produced. So this activates the convert the prothrombin into thrombin. So but this heparin prevents that action. Okay, prevent the aggregation of platelets, thereby prevent platelet plug formation. Okay. Prevents the aggregation of platelets, thereby prevents platelet plug formation. Okay, so that function you know, platelet. Then this therapeutically means clinically, the heparin are used to prevent intravascular thrombosis. So intravascular, so vascular means blood vessel, right? So thrombosis means formation of a clot. Okay, so they will administer the heparin and prevent the intravascular thrombosis. So during dialysis, okay, during dialysis they will use, and myocardial infarction, okay, MI. So during heart attack, so what will happen, the blood flow of the blood in the heart will be slowed down. So if the sluggish, so it will prevent the clot formation. So understood the heparin function? So important, okay, the heparin is mainly produced by mast cells and basophil. Okay, basophil. So presence of this basophil produces a heparin, prevent the coagulation, okay, intra-blood coagulation or intravascular coagulation. Okay, so how it will do the mechanism? The first one, it acts against thrombin and prevent the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin, and it acts as anti-thromboplastin and prevent the conversion of prothrombin into thrombin. It prevent the aggregation of platelets, thereby prevent platelet plug formation. Okay, aggregation of platelets and prevent the platelet plug formation. So this heparin are used in the treatment of vascular, prevent the intravascular thrombosis during dialysis and myocardial infarction. Next comes dicumarol. So dicumarol is not present in the body. So exogenous administration means exogenous. So externally it is administrated. So can be taken orally also. It acts as vitamin K antagonist. Okay. So vitamin K is essential for the synthesis of all the factors. Okay. This 2nd, 7th, 9th and 10th. Okay. So all the clotting factors are synthesized in the liver. Okay. So liver is very important. So any liver damage that will decrease the synthesis of all these coagulation factors. So for the synthesis of this, vitamin K is essential. Okay. So dicumarol acts as vitamin K antagonist. Okay. Antagonist means against. Okay. So these factors will not synthesize and the clotting is not takes place. So therapeutically, dicumarol is used to prevent intravascular clotting. Okay. So this also are administered to prevent the formation of the clot in blood vessels in long standing bedridden patient. Okay. Long standing. So prolonged disease, maybe some kidney failure and all. So the prolonged disease will be there. So that patient, they will administer the dicumarol. Okay. So that will prevent the intravascular clotting. So next comes the in vitro anticoagulants, means outside the body. They are heparin, sodium citrate solution, double oxalate, okay, ammonium, which contain ammonium and potassium, and EDTA. So EDTA is important. So they will give the question, just name the what is anticoagulants. Okay. So name in vitro and in vivo anticoagulants. So that time you have to write. Clear? Also the ionic calcium. So ionic calcium is necessary in many of the steps of coagulation. Okay. So in vitro anticoagulants. So ionic calcium. So then in vitro anticoagulants are used to prevent coagulation of the blood outside the body, mostly in laboratories for investigation purpose and for storing the blood in blood bank. So as already told, so it will prevent the coagulation. So hence they are used in laboratories for investigation purpose or for storage of blood in blood bank. So that's complete the anticoagulants. So in that the heparin is important. So sometimes they will ask the write a note on heparin. So you have to write it is an in vivo anticoagulant. Both in vivo and in vitro anticoagulant, they are produced by mast cells and basophils, and what is the mechanism of action, okay, and what is the use. Coming to test for clotting. So to find out the clotting, so in some disease this clotting time will be prolonged. Okay, so to see that, so we will do two tests. One is a bleeding time. Okay, so bleeding time is the time interval from the oozing of blood till the arrest of bleeding. So that means, suppose this is your finger. Okay, so you are pricking here. You are pricking here. So the blood will come, right? Blood will come. So you have to note that point. Okay, note that time. Suppose this is 0 second. You started here. Okay, 0 second. So now blood is coming, and After a few seconds it will stop, right? After some time it will stop. So that time you have to mark. Suppose after 1 minute it will stop. Okay, after 1 minute, so it will stop. So that is the time interval from the oozing, means coming of the blood, oozing of the blood, till the arrest or stoppage of bleeding. Okay, so that is called bleeding time. So we are doing a Duke's method. Okay, Duke's method. So and under Duke's method, the normal duration is 1 to 6 minutes. Okay, 1 to 6 minutes. Means, so here you have to take one bleeding paper, okay, blotting paper. You have to prick your finger. Okay, so blot it on this paper. You have to touch this paper. Okay, so the blood stain will take place. So that is 0 second. So you have to wait for 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds. Now after 30 seconds again you have to blot. Okay, so that is 30 seconds. Then again you have to touch the paper. So that is around 60 seconds. So like that. So every 30 seconds you have to blot the paper and until there is no blood stain in this paper. So that's initiate, that show the complete stoppage of bleeding. Okay, that is the method. Next, comes the clotting time. Clotting time is the time interval from the oozing of blood till the formation of clot. Okay, so here you have to prick the finger, the blood will comes out. Okay, so in that time you have to wait till the formation of clot. So in the clotting, in the hemostasis mechanism, so I already told, hemostasis means what? So hemostasis means first there is a vasoconstriction, platelet plug formation, then coagulation, right? There are 3 steps. In these 3 steps, the first, the bleeding time assess the bleeding stop mainly because of platelet plug formation, temporary platelet plug formation. Okay, after that there is a clot will form. Okay, so in this method, so we have to take a thin capillary tube. Okay, so hence the name is a capillary method. You have to fill the blood in this tube. Okay, you have to fill the blood. After filling the blood, you have to wait for 2 minutes. Okay, you have to wait for 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you have to slowly break small piece. You have to break the tube. Okay, so it is very thin tube, so you have to break the tube and you have to see the presence of clot. If it is not present, again 30 seconds you have to wait. You have to break the next piece. Like this you go on, cut the capillary tube till you get the clot. Okay, so you can easily, you can see, so it will come like this. Okay, clot. So that is indicates the clot formation. So always the clotting time depends on the clotting factors, because of the activation of clotting factors, the clotting is taking place. Okay, and the bleeding time depends on the platelets. Okay, activation of platelets or integrity of the platelets. Clotting time depends on the clotting factors. So normal duration is 2 to 8 minutes by capillary tube method. Next, go to prothrombin time. So prothrombin you know, so it is inactive form. So it is a time interval required to convert prothrombin to thrombin. Okay, and final clot formation. First what will happen? Activation of thrombin activator is important, right? So that will take time. After that, this prothrombin to thrombin, so thrombin convert to fibrinogen to fibrin, so the final step. So this will assist the extrinsic mechanism, measures the extrinsic mechanism that involved in blood coagulation. Okay, so it is normal about 12 to 16 seconds. 12 to 16 seconds. Okay. So that's complete the blood coagulation, okay, chapter. So in that you have to study the very important is hemostasis, vasoconstriction, platelet plug formation and coagulation. So in the permanent clotting or a coagulation, there are 3 steps: activation of prothrombin activator, conversion of prothrombin to thrombin, conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin. So activation of prothrombin activator, there are 2 mechanisms: intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway. Intrinsic pathway is initiated mainly by platelets and extrinsic pathway is by tissue thromboplastin. So finally, so that will activate the prothrombin activator. So this convert prothrombin to thrombin, thrombin convert fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay. So after this, there is a clot retraction. So after some time, the a fluid or a liquid get oozes from the clot. Okay. So that is the action of proteins, contractile proteins of released by platelets. Okay. So then function of platelets is important. Then anticoagulants. What is anticoagulants? We have to remember the in vivo and in vitro anticoagulants. Then also mechanism action of heparin. Okay. So that's complete. Next, which are the tests we are doing to check the coagulation? One is bleeding time and clotting time, then prothrombin time. So bleeding time, that depends on platelet function, and clotting time depends on clotting factors. Okay. Next, coming to the bleeding disorders. So one is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a bleeding disorder or a disorders of coagulation of blood. Here it is a sex-linked inherited disease. Inherited means from the ancestors, from your father, from your mother. It is from mother or your grandmother. It is carried to the person. So one important thing is, so hemophilia occurs only in males. Okay. So not in female, because the gene responsible is a recessive gene. So you know, so suppose in male they have XY chromosomes, right? So because of Y, Y is a dominant gene, X is a recessive gene, right? So dominant is Y, recessive is X, but this hemophilia causing chromosome is present on recessive gene, present on X. Hence in male it affects only in male. Females are the carrier. Okay, females are the carrier. So hemophilia, it is a disorders of coagulation of blood. It is a sex-linked inherited disease, affects male, females are the carrier. Okay. It occurs due to lack of formation of prothrombin activator. So coagulation time is prolonged but bleeding time is normal. Okay. So in hemophilia, so here the prothrombin activator is not formed. Okay. So their coagulation time will be prolonged but bleeding time is normal. So here the till the platelet plug formation is taking place, but that is a temporary plug. Okay. So permanent seal of that has to take place, but here the prothrombin activator is defective, it's not producing properly, so hence the coagulation is not taking place. Their coagulation time will be prolonged, will be long. So normal it is 1 to 8 minutes, but they take more than 8 minutes. Okay, to clot. So in this, why this prothrombin activator is not forming? So the reason is the deficiency of factor 9th or factor 8th and 9th. Okay, deficiency of factor 8th or 9th. Understood? So I will tell again. So deficiency of formation of prothrombin activator is due to deficiency of factor 9th and 10th. Sorry, factor 8th and 9th. So in hemophilia A is classified into two, hemophilia A and hemophilia B. In hemophilia A, the factor 8 is deficient. Okay, factor 8 is deficient. About 85% of the people with hemophilia are affected by this type. Means, so total 85% persons are having this type of hemophilia. Okay, factor 8 deficiency. So hemophilia B is factor 9th deficient. So it is around only 15% people you can see this type of hemophilia. So it is also called Christmas factor. Okay, Christmas disease. Okay, because the hemophilia factor 9 is a Christmas factor. Hence it is also called Christmas disease. So the next one is purpura. And purpura is a capillary abnormalities. So whenever there is a capillary abnormalities, results in bleeding, hemorrhages on skin and mucous membrane. So capillaries are a very very smallest blood vessels. So that is surrounding the tissues, where quick exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide are taking place between the tissue and capillaries. Okay, so because of the capillary abnormalities, so there is a bleeding, hemorrhages. Okay, like patches will be taking place. Patches will occur on the skin and mucous membrane. Okay. Here the bleeding time is prolonged, but clotting time is normal. Okay. So here only the difference is bleeding time is prolonged. So here clotting factors are normal. So one more is there, that's a thrombocytopenic purpura. Okay, so thrombocytopenic purpura means here the deficiency of thrombocytes or platelets. Okay, thrombocytes are platelets due to deficiency of platelets or thrombocytopenic purpura is due to deficiency of platelets. So here again there are three types. Thrombocytopenic purpura, in this abnormal platelets are present. Okay, so bleeding time will be prolonged. So I already told the bleeding time so mainly depends on formation of temporary platelet plug formation, because due to deficiency or platelet is not functioning properly, this capacity will be decreases. Okay, due to presence of abnormal platelets. So one more is there, that is idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. So idiopathic means here platelet count is normal, but against to this platelet antibodies will be developed. Okay, against to platelets the antibodies will develop in the body, so that antibodies destroy the platelets. Okay, that is called idiopathic, means unknown cause. Okay, unknown cause of thrombocytopenic purpura. So that's complete the bleeding disorders. So in bleeding disorders, you have to remember, very important is hemophilia. So hemophilia is a bleeding disorder in which coagulation, mainly the clotting time will be prolonged here. Only the males are affected. Okay, it is males are affected and females are carrier. So it is a sex linked inherited disease. So here the main cause is a lack of formation of prothrombin activator due to deficiency of two clotting factors. So one is clotting factor 8 and clotting factor 9. Okay, so based on this hemophilia A, where clotting factor 8 is deficient, so 85% of the peoples are affected by hemophilia A. Then hemophilia B type, here the clotting factor 9th is absent. Okay, so due to deficiency of this only 15% are can be seen affected person, also call it as Christmas disease. Next coming the purpura. So purpura is a capillary abnormalities can be seen. Okay, so because of this, so the bleeding will be taking place, so it appears as a patches, so you can observe some green patches on the skin, green or bluish green color patches on the skin, are called hemorrhages on the skin and mucous membrane. So here mainly the deficiency of platelets. Okay, so that is called thrombocytopenic purpura, thrombopenic. So due to deficiency of platelets, thrombocytopenic purpura due to deficiency of platelets, thrombocytopenic purpura due to abnormal presence of abnormal platelets, and idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura. Here there is a normal count of platelets with normal functioning of the platelets, but against to this the antibodies are developed because unknown cause that will fight against the platelets and decrease the capacity of functioning of platelets, so that will also leads to purpura. So that's complete the coagulation. Okay. Thank you all.